to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. Another exciting show and definitely another exciting guest. Back with part 2 of Elizabeth Urquhart. And we're going to finish the conversation where she's going to talk about the one guy that mentored her or that she looked up to allow her the opportunity to pursue a comedian. But let me go a little bit deeper than that. If you guys watched the first episode, she's a nurse first and decided to take the leap into by adding something else to her resume, something that was fun, to take a little bit of the pressure of the nursing industry and the health industry off her plate and bring all that to the comedy field. So without further ado, let's go back to part 2 with Elizabeth Urquhart. What's up?
How are you?
Man, you just have a smile and it's cold outside.
I am not a fan of the cold weather, sir. No. I am.
Somebody was on social media, right? I'm not gonna mention the lady's name. I don't remember it anyway, but TikTok be having some crazy shit, right? So I'm scrolling and somebody said something about, they said, "Oh, I'm in Indiana and I don't know how people, in Indiana can stand this weather. I'm in Florida and I can walk around in my bikini suit and I don't know how you do it. But everybody in the Midwest says they like to change the seasons." So let me go quickly with this. I lived in Florida, and when Christmas time came, I was miserable.
Yeah, because there was no snow.
There was no snow.
No, I know.
There was no snow. So I get what she's saying.
Yes.
But the change of seasons is good because we don't always get a lot of snow here in Indiana, and when we do,
we've been getting some though. I'm like, man, Mother Nature, you're starting early. Usually,
I'd rather for it to start early than to end late. Last year it ended.
It did.
Well, this year it ended late. Well, weighing into the new year, it ended late because our winter lasted long into the spring.
It did.
Yeah, and I was like pissed.
Annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so annoying.
You know what I said? I said, "How are we gonna run the 500?" That's exactly what I said. I said, "How are we gonna run the 500?"
Put the chains on the tires so that way they don't slip.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you for coming by for part 2.
It's such a pleasure. It's, I've loved getting to know you. And it's funny because about the snow, I actually just had a post on TikTok go viral about the snow.
What did you say?
It's this little baby and she's saying curse words.
Oh, yeah,
and
I like
she's
those.
like walking around and she's like saying curse words. And I was like, I put in the caption reminding myself I'm a strong, independent woman who shovels her own snow.
Yeah.
And it's got like over 13,000 likes already.
Really?
Like it's gone viral. And I'm just like,
I like those little things on TikTok with those. I'm not for cussing, but they're so funny when the little kids go, "Hey, Mom, get your ass in there, make me some biscuits and gravy."
I'm actually writing a comedy set on that. Like all my other stuff has been on my material, but that just shows how demented society is like, they will go crazy over a little person just waddling around, just saying curse words. And I'm just like, well, it is what it is. I mean, because honestly, essentially, it's free marketing for the indie comic scene.
Yeah.
Because all the stuff on my page is either comedy related or life related. So by that going viral, it's gotten like over 457,000 page views and stuff like that. So hopefully that's kind of boosting the community a little bit, because that's ultimately why I do the silly posting. It's a nest egg for my existing followers to see what the content's going to be about and what I'm going to be wearing at the next show, because my wardrobe is kind of what they're intrigued with. And let me tell you, some of my dresses that are coming in, I'm like, chef's kiss.
What's wrong with some of the dresses?
Oh no, nothing's wrong with them. They're gorgeous.
Oh,
yes.
So it's a comedy fashion show for you?
No,
all rolled up into one.
It's not even really a fashion show. It's just, I believe in entertainment. You need to entertain, and part of that is curb appeal. And I feel like, we're drowned out by like the T-shirt and the sweatshirt and like, if you're going to entertain, I believe like you should entertain. You're essentially marketing yourself.
Right.
So are you going to buy the dilapidated house with the shutters that are falling down, or are you going to buy the haunted mausoleum that looks nice on the outside? Mm-hmm. I mean, most people are going to go for the curb appeal, right? And plus, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I like to look pretty. And my poor family has dealt with that their whole life. You know, like.
What do you mean they dealt with it their whole life?
Because I'm just like, I have like a shoe problem where I have lots of shoes and dresses, and I've already told my kids, you know, if I meet my maker and I'm not in a pair of nice stilettos and a dress, I will haunt you. The standard has already been set.
Yeah.
So no, I feel like it's marketable when you look professional and you look nice. And not saying that, you know, my fellow comics, you know, because I don't want the backlash, but, you know,
you created your own identity.
Yes, I'm created, but you'd
nice
be surprised. You'd be surprised at how much backlash I get for the identity that I've created.
What do you mean when you say that? Backlash.
Like, why do you always have to dress like that? Why can't you dress normal? Did you
ask them what is normal?
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, it says right on my bio on Instagram, it's the Edgar Allan Poe quote. There's no exquisite beauty without strangeness and proportion, and that's kind of my mantra. I mean, I do live outside of the box. I have my whole life. Growing up, I was the princess, but I was also the jock, and I was the weird kid in school. Like, there was no, I don't like a label. I like to keep them guessing. But I also like to entertain, and part of that is looking good, because if you look good, you feel good, and you put forth a good product. You know what I mean?
How much does that really weigh on you now? Because the bottom line is,
it
you're
hurts.
in front of people, so that being human, you still have to think about what are they going to say. I look nice, but what am I going to get?
I've been dealing a lot with that. Actually, recently, I'm actually kind of on a hiatus right now because of mental stress from the backlash that I've been getting for wanting to create my own image. So I kind of have been taking a small break, but I'm also objectified too by the male community. You know,
well, we're men.
I know, and I get that. But you know, like, you know, if I turn you down, you shouldn't be treating me differently or putting slander on my name. Correct?
What do you mean? Give me an example.
You know, I've had some really sexist remarks come up as of late. I've had men essentially picking apart my body type on stage and off stage.
On social media?
Oh, no, yeah, on stage, in private chats, and everything.
Like what? What would they say? Because
I have small boobs. I have small butt. My nose is big. I have a facial tick when I'm on stage. Like, they're just like picking away at me like a carcass.
Well, these guys that asked you out on a date.
Some of them are. Some of them are.
To go after you, passive aggressive.
Yeah, some of them are. But, you know, I have found strength in a lot of the older men in the community. They know who I am. They know why I dress the way that I do. And, you know, like, I was apprehensive to talk about that on here because I'm like, then it sheds light more on the problem, and then I'm going to get more backlash.
Well, not really, because it depends.
So,
if people see you dealing with it,
yeah,
then they know that, you know, I can deal with it. So I don't think it'll be a backlash. I think the backlash will happen if you don't acknowledge it and say, you know, this is what happened and this is how I'm going to deal with it. You know, you can either let somebody put you in the ground while you're alive, or you can take the hammer and say, I'm gonna keep living.
Yeah, yeah, and it's, you know, I'm just going to take a small hiatus, and then after the first of the year, I'm just going to go back at it. A lot of exciting things are coming up. I'm going to be in my second official roast battle on January 22nd with Kevin King. He's having that at the Helium nightclub. And I'm going to roast one of my comic best friends, a man I look up to very much, Jordan Danger. He runs the Kokomo mic. Wow. And he's doing wonderful things. Like, he has his own podcast. I mean, he's a real innovator. And it's funny because we met back in June, and, you know, those people that you just hit it off instantly, like, he's got a creative vibe. I've got a creative vibe. And he's just one of those men like I can go to just about anything. But the same as like Kevin King, who's hosting, you know, the roast battle. He's like one of my very best friends in the scene. So I have support. I don't want it to look like a total negative connotation with, you know, this isn't a war of the sexes or anything like that. I'm very supported and I'm very loved. There's just a few little scuttlebugs who are being tushes, but hopefully it'll blow over.
How difficult is it to continue this path for you as a comedian?
It is hard. It's been mentally stressful. It's really mentally stressful too, because the people who love me and who have wanted this for me for a long time, like my father, my family, kids, nieces, nephews, and stuff like that. They want to go to the shows, but they also know that these things are being said on stage and off stage. And my father is a very blunt man. You know, like my little sister asked him a couple weeks ago, she's like, why don't you go to her shows? And he goes, what am I going to do when one of these idiots says something? He's like, I can't go off on him. He's like, that'll, you know, because he's my father. He doesn't want to see that. So they haven't really been able to come and enjoy me doing that.
But shouldn't you just tell your father, look, that's part of the
I have, but I will. It does not matter. And he will tell anybody. He's like, she can be 45 or she can be 80. I'm going to see the 5-year-old little girl in pigtails, and I'm just going to. That's just one of his triggers. But he's a very smart man. You know, he knows his triggers and he knows. But I'm hoping he'll come to the roast battle, because the guy who I'm roasting with, Jordan, I'm just going to let him know, hey, this is a safe zone, you know, like we've already talked.
What is the roast?
Oh my goodness. They're so much fun, and if you get a chance, you really need to come. I will buy you a ticket. I will. You really should experience a roast battle, especially with Kevin King.
Okay.
It's something that he started in Greenwood, and it's called like Heckle and Hyde, where comics essentially like go back and forth and they roast each other about, you know, just anything. Obviously, prior to, the comedians will be like, hey, you know, what shouldn't we talk about? You know, like there's boundaries and stuff like that. But it's kind of like a no holds bar where you're bantering back and forth. And it's a lot of fun. Very exciting, very high energy. And it's a blast. And, Kevin King, he got us onto the Roast Battle League, I guess, which is like a national thing. So he's doing 2 nights in January. He's doing January 22nd and January 29th. And I'm on January 22nd.
Really?
So if you want to come, I will get you that ticket. So so you can experience it.
How do you prepare for that with material without offending each other?
Well, eventually you are going to, I mean, you are taking digs at each other, but it's like the point with what's going on with me in real life. There's a point to where it's left on the stage and when it carries off the stage, right? So like, you know, Jordan, and the most purest platonic love. I love this man. If you get a chance to look him up, you should. He's a completely wonderful human, very innovative. I just to pieces. But we just kind of go over boundaries. Like, hey, what's a trigger for you? Because I don't want to trigger you on stage. And, you know, like we talk about, hey, I'm going to say some offensive stuff. And it's like, well, I love you, so I know it's all in good fun. So it always helps if you know the opponent, or, you know, like prior to the show, even if you don't know the opponent, you can be like, hey, what can I talk about? What can I talk about? And stuff like that. And although it seems like it's mean, it's actually pretty controlled. You know, I haven't really seen anything go awry since I've been watching those.
Let's talk about your AKA mentor.
Kevin Hearthstone, yeah.
Who was he? How did he come into your life?
Well, it's funny. I actually have a bit on this, but my dream came true. I was able to finally get on stage at Crackers. And it was like my family came in. My aunt flew in from South Carolina to surprise me because my family's been wanting to see this for a very long time. And get into Crackers. Did really well on my first show, and then book another show the next month, and then it closes down. So part of my bit was, the suckle in my face, did it shut down a whole club? Because, I can be pretty, just very lewd and inappropriate. And they had sent out a message, like I was getting messages. I had people who had already bought tickets for the show in March, and they were messaging me saying, hey, the club closed down, and I was freaking out. Started looking up local comics, and Kevin Hearthstone came in. So I messaged him. I was like, hey, I don't know you, and I know this is random, but I just got my first bite at comedy, and please don't tell me this is over. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Instead of stonewalling me and gatekeeping, like some comedians will do, he was totally open. He's like, hey, I have an open mic. It's called Mucky Mondays. It's on Southport. It's at Mucky Duck. Mm-hmm. And
is that Southport, Indiana?
It's Southport Road in Indiana.
Southport Road, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's every Monday at 8 p.m. Right now, Evan Hammonds, he's a comedian that I really love and respect. He's running it now. Okay. They wanted to keep it going after Kevin had passed in July, but I came in and, the first moment, I can actually remember it like it was yesterday that I saw Kevin. He had like this little Moscow Mule, and he's like, hey, I ordered this drink, but it wasn't what I wanted. Do you want it? And I watched the show and stuff like that, and we talked. Well, it was my second show. I was so excited. I had all these people come, and I completely froze on stage.
Wow.
Like I lost it. And I just remember, and it's so funny the things that you remember about a person, but I was looking directly at Kevin. I can remember the table and where he was, and I can remember his face, and I was just looking, and he just kind of was giving me that look, not to be obvious, like keep going. And I looked at him, and I was like, I lost it. I can't. And then I was like, look, I know you don't allow people to finish, but I need to finish for me. I need to know that would you allow me to after the mic? I know nobody will be here. He allowed me to finish.
How big was that, and what does that mean?
It was monumental. Okay. It was monumental to me, the fact that he would let me finish.
Why'd you freeze?
Inexperience, and it was a tough crowd.
Inexperience? You was just at Crackers.
Yeah, I know, but it's just, like you read the room when you're in stand-up comedy, and if it's a tough crowd, people are just looking and they're not really responsive to what you're putting forth, it makes you kind of second guess yourself, and it really was not a responsive crowd. But it's also a bar, so they're watching the game and stuff like that. And, I was still fresh off the scene, but, he did pass in July, and it was completely heartbreaking for us all.
Well, what did he say to you when you
he said,
at the end of the day?
I got done, and it's something that I'll carry in my heart forever. I looked at him and was like, what do you think? And he looked at me and he goes, well, Netflix special, but I think you're going to make it. Oh. And I actually have a video that we did together. It was my first show. We did a TikTok together about me listing my demands to be on his open mic, and he was so fun and willing to do it. But he was a complete vision. He had an idea for the comedy community because he saw the gatekeeping. He saw it, and he didn't want to do that. He wanted it to be a community. And so, I know Evan works really hard to kind of make that happen. And some of the comedians who knew Kevin are trying to make that happen as well. So like, a little tribute that I'll do to Kevin, like when we did part 1, I remember driving home and I was just like, I was like, I'm no Netflix special, but I talked about you today, because I feel like that's what keeps people alive, and it's his vision. But when I host shows in honor of him giving me that second chance, instead of putting the microphone in the mic stand, I like to hand it to the comic. It's sort of like a welcome to the stage.
You know what? So funny you said that.
Yeah.
They was doing I was in partnership with a couple of comedians here where they wanted to do some comedy at the Good Spot, Indy's premier family style restaurant. located on Southeastern. If you want good food, go to the good
Oh,
spot.
I might have to Google that because I love good food.
But anyway, he was doing he was partnering up with some people to do open mic, and this was something new for me. We had a couple of the comedians on prior to the launch, and I don't know much about comedy. Most time when I see comedies, they do have a mic and they're moving around. So we set the stage up to where I agree with you. Handing a mic to somebody is a heck of a lot different than having a mic position in a stand. But a lot of the comedians there, they rather have the mic in front of them. You know what is
so essentially is what I've been taught, because I'm still kind of learning, so I'm going to be making my mistakes too. Essentially, the rule is like, if you have the mic in the stand,
right,
it kind of puts a barrier between you and the audience. But it's the comic's preference too.
I think I'm gonna engage with a comic. When I saw D.L. Hughley and those guys perform, they just seem more natural with the mic in their hand.
Yeah, and then like for me, the comedian they take the mic out of the stand and stuff like that. So if I don't know the comic, I will ask them ahead of time. I will be like, hey, as a part of welcoming you to the community in this area, I like to hand you the mic. Is that okay with you? Because I don't want to disrupt their thought process either. Everybody's got their own routine, and some people will be like, to help get me ready, I prefer to take the mic out of the stand, but thank you for asking, because it is a part of, like their ritual to kind of mentally prep for the show, and I don't want to interfere with that.
You mentioned your mentor and him saying something about the gatekeepers. We hear that so often, even
I'm sure you do in entertainment. I'm sure you've experienced some sort of gatekeeping, maybe.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. And I think the difference here is what we talked about offset. When you control your narrative and you control your network, you don't have to really worry about gatekeepers.
I've been pretty blessed so far. I haven't really had to deal with it myself per se, but you do know that it's out there. I've been very fortunate, but I've also been around some really good mics. There's the Wit that's on Shelbyville with Ray Hensley. He runs an incredibly good open mic. He gives a lot of feedback. He's very professional, but Ike will do shows there as well, Comedy Junkies and stuff like that. And then I go to Mucky Ducks. I go to Planetary Brewing, which is on Tuesdays. The Kokomo Press when I can get out there, which is in Kokomo on Thursdays. I just went to Cadillac Jack's in Shelbyville. It was an interesting mic, and I plan on branching out and going to more mics, but those are kind of like my hot spots. But one of my favorites is actually Fountain Square Brewery. That's every Wednesday, and then there's the Liberty Street mic after that. But Fountain Square, I would have to say, is one of my favorites.
When you said something about, let's go back to your mentor, and you mentioned the gatekeepers. Elaborate a little bit on that from your perspective. We heard comedians like not Kevin Hart, but the guy with the long hair.
I just think it's if they know that you have something different, you've got to. I'm a Libra, so I naturally try and look at it for both sides. And the thing is you're this comic who's been doing it for 20 plus years and you haven't really been able to gain any headway. Then you see this younger person who's got their own style, their own flair, and they're starting to make, to me, gatekeeping is a form of jealousy.
Wow.
And that's just, I'm just going to call it like I see it. It's a form of jealousy. You're trying to keep somebody from getting ahead, but the thing is I went into this knowing I'm not going to be a Netflix special. I went into it just simply to have an avenue to enjoy life and make new friends and be part of a community and do what we all need to do, laugh.
How has it changed you?
It's been a tremendous learning curve. I didn't realize wanting to make people laugh could be the cause of some of the greatest sadness in my life, which is kind of paradoxical. But it's promoted a lot of growth within me too.
What do you mean by that?
I'm able to kind of take the hits as they come. I'm more fluid in things. I'm learning stuff about marketing, and it's just opened up a wealth of opportunity to learn a whole bunch of different things. Like I got to meet you. I'm meeting all these wonderful people, and I'm getting to learn more about entertainment. So even, the only thing is, there is like some very critical people on the scene, but it's like, I can't get out to all the open mics. I can't take advantage of all the classes and stuff like that because, I have a household to maintain and stuff like that, but that doesn't make me any less serious about comedy, and it all comes with time. It's like that seasoned cast iron pan that you're cooking in, you get your layers of flavor, right? And it's all a learning curve. So, I do hope I have a lot of goals for 2026.
Like what? What's your goals?
I may be, one of my biggest goals is I should be going on my way to marry England to work abroad for a year.
Wow.
I have family in England and, my family's on board and stuff like that. Are
you going to do comedy while you're over there?
I'm going to try. Yeah. Yeah, but where my family is, they're in it's a smaller, more rural town, and they're 4 hours outside of London. So we'll see. But it's mainly to travel. I want to. I'm very big into architecture. So I want to stand in front of the Cologne Cathedral in Germany. That's been on my bucket list, and I want to go to France. I never got to go.
You're part German too, right?
Yep, I'm half German.
Okay.
My family immigrated from there, yeah. And it's funny because, I was going through our family tree and stuff because I'm doing something special for the kid.
Oh, God. What did you find?
Oh, nothing. We have nothing.
You go, oh, nothing.
No, I mean, we have our family history all the way from the late 1600s mapped out from Prussia.
Wow.
Germany, yeah. So it's
nothing of surprise, huh?
Not really, no. We're pretty boring. A lot of farmers. And I didn't inherit the green thumb, and I feel like that's kind of rude. I have to buy the clearance plants, so that way they're half dead, so if they croak, I feel half as bad.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is there what have you noticed difference since you've been doing this for a while? The difference in comedy as it relates to different culture groups?
Well,
in the way that they approach comedy, you find a similarity that like black comedians have a certain rule of engagement that they follow. Caucasians have a rule of engagement.
See, I
lesbians have a rule of engagements. Gays.
Maybe that is my naivety, but I don't really focus on that. I guess I haven't really paid attention. Like I love
well, somebody said something about it. The reason I was bringing it up.
I love Aisha. She's a comic.
Aisha the Body or something like that.
Yeah, she's one of the comedians that I follow, and I love her to bits. And then Kayamo Jones, Queen Kayamo, I follow her too. But Aisha, nothing's off limits with that sassy little firecracker. I just love that woman. But the thing is too is, with her, anytime I've had an issue or whatever, she's always been there to love and to guide me and, give me some friendly advice, like, hey, try this or don't give up. And, a lot of the comics, especially the older men, they're like, you're going to feel like you want to quit 80 million times throughout your whole career. Just don't do it. Don't allow it. Because then if you do walk away, then, so it is a learning curve. It is. But I have found somewhat of a community, and it's been a pleasant surprise. I think it drives my family a little crazy, but they knew what they got to. Like I'm going to surprise my parents. We were making plans for Christmas Day, and our family, we have this tradition. We come over in pajamas.
Yeah.
and we watch football all day and just eat good food, I'm going to surprise my parents with the pajamas this year. And my dad's just going to, I can see the look on his face. He's just going to be like,
really?
Yeah.
He's going to be like, really?
Yeah. He's going to be like, damn it. He's like,
have you ever thought about quitting? You know, Aisha gave you.
I have thought about quitting.
Some things. What was the reasons that you thought about quitting?
Just mental stress. Like one of my flaws is I'm a perfectionist and I want things to be done, and I expect things to be done in a certain time frame, and if I'm not meeting that, then I'm just like,
you can't be a perfectionist being a comedy.
I know.
It doesn't work. 'Cause
I know.
You don't know what the day-to-day
stage
is going to do.
I know. And that's what I'm learning is I need to have a little more patience and grace with myself too, a little more. But I've met some of my very best friends through comedy. And it's funny too, because like I'm a very glam girl, and I met Heather May, who's out of South Bend, the Drop Comedy Club. I met her this past Saturday. And it's like, I know you, because glam girls the glitter will always come together, baby. The glitter always comes together, and that's my glitter queen. She goes, I know you too, glam girl. So I had to pop a selfie with my fellow glam girl, but I was so happy.
What's a glam girl?
I call myself a glam girl because I like to do my makeup, and I like to be very done up all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went on a date recently, and he's like, I am eventually going to have to see you without makeup. I'm like, if you're lucky enough, you will.
Oh, that's what he said?
Yeah, we're not there yet.
How do you date with knowing that you are, that, you
I don't
tell the guy you're a comedian? Like, how does that even pan off?
I don't get to date very often. I get approached, but not in the way that you would think.
What do you mean you get approached?
I get approached more for the physical aspect. Essentially, I'm more lusted after than wanting to be pursued.
Okay.
Which is, it's very...
Well, how do you know the difference?
Men today have no couth. So I'm a total package person when I'm looking at a person that I potentially, like, I will literally let you know very quickly, because I think it's cruel to lead people on, and we're in that culture to where people are in that lukewarm, maybe I like you, maybe I don't, which I think is very cowardly and rude. Mm-hmm. I can know about 5 minutes within talking to you if you're going to, and this comes off cruel, if you're going to waste my time.
What do you mean when you say that?
Aesthetically, yes. I have to enjoy the view. If I have to look at you, I have to enjoy the view. I am superficial that way. But at the end of the day, we all are. There has to be some physical attraction there, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe that's the male part of my brain that works. I don't know. But I'm also attracted to charm, wit. I need to know that I'm going to have a valuable conversation with you. And I actually have sets about this on stage. Like, can you read this? Do you have all your native teeth? Like, yeah. And it is a criteria. But, dating
Are
me.
Are you approachable? Be real. Because I think if you're coming at somebody like that, I'll be like, okay, she might not be.
My girlfriends, actually, they like to talk, and I actually have material on that too. And one of my girlfriends, like, they don't hold it. They're like, it's your face. You need to fix your face. Because I guess I have a resting bitch face.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. But the thing is it's my bullshit detector. Like, I've even had guys tell me, like, you're too intimidating. Like, it's just,
Well, could that be the resting bitch?
It could be the resting bitch face, but it's also my bullshit detector. If you're going to have the courage to come up and talk to me, then I'm going to entertain you for at least 5 to 10 minutes and see what you got to say.
What do you say? This is interesting. What do you say for 5 to 10 minutes from a comedian standpoint? I'm approaching you. What do you say? Hey.
I'm like, hi, how you doing? And most of the time,
are you looking at eye contact, or you do like this?
No, I give you eye contact. You better look me like down the hatch here, pal. And, most of the guys, they're looking at the figure.
Okay.
Which is fine. You can get a glance for 30
seconds. So you got
seconds.
5 minutes. I'm getting 5 minutes of conversation.
No, I just want to be like, I look for authenticity. Like, hey, how you doing?
Okay.
Like, how's your night going? Or, stuff like that. I don't want that bargain mart where you're pulling some cheesy pickup line out. Or
what's a cheesy pickup line?
Like, I had some guy a couple weeks ago. He's like, hey, you look like Nikki Glaser. Literally followed me out the bar. It's like, first of all, you shouldn't be following me anyway. You're creepy. Get away from me. And don't tell me I look like some other lady. No, it's amazing.
Is she an attractive lady?
She's very beautiful, and she's a very successful comic. So thank you for the boost for comparing me to her. But I'm my own.
Okay, so he fucked up already.
Well, he fucked up by following me outside the club. Get away from me, you creeper. And then I had some guy look at me.
He wasn't just trying to make sure you got to your car?
He was not.
So you saw the bullshit.
Yeah, I can read through it, but that's from being raised by all men.
Okay.
And the thing is too is like, some guy was at the bar and he goes, hey, we should link up. And I was like,
no. That's a serious pickup. He's straight to the point.
I was like, no, I don't like you. Like I mean, I will literally, I look for authenticity, like, and it's not that hard to be cordial, but men are very, but I can't say it just about men. It is not just about men either. Women are equally just as forward. I'm kind of old fashioned. I like to be courted. I like to, for someone, I'm the type of person, I don't really care about what you're making or what you're bringing to the table because I bring that to the table myself. And I always try and tell people, and this is what my male friends say, that's intimidating to a man. But I'm like, I will never need you.
Okay, how is that intimidating to a man?
I don't know. The male ego, they like to be able to take care of women. Well, I will never need that.
Yeah.
I was raised to be self-sufficient.
That's not intimidating to a man.
I don't know. Maybe they're speaking.
Maybe there's a few men, but
I don't know. I will never need a man. I will always provide for myself.
Right.
I will always provide for my family. I will never need you for that. To me, it makes a difference to say, I want you around. I want to have you in my life. I choose to have you. And a lot of men are intimidated because, yes, I do get a lot of male attention. I do.
How do you deal with that?
It's very lonely. A lot of them don't like it. They get insecure. But the thing is if I have eyes for you, I'm not worried about the eyes that are on me. I'm not, because they don't have what you have, and that's my attention. And it's hard to get.
I hope you guys are listening to what she's saying. She's giving you guys, she put you up on game.
I literally do not entertain a whole lot of people. So if I'm actually entertaining you and I'm wanting to spend time with you, that says something about, there is something about your character that I like, because I don't like a whole lot of people. I can acquaint with anybody. Now,
what do you do if you like somebody? Are you bold enough in today's society to go and tell that person?
I flirt like a 13-year-old.
Get out of here.
Heck yes, I do. Like, there's this one guy.
Your girlfriend say you need to quit.
Yeah, there's this one guy, like, he is like a game changer. Like, I literally low key want to vomit every time I see him. It's just his presence. And, like, he actually makes me nervous. Like, I'm not good, like, I'm just, I don't know. And it's trying to, I'm just setting myself up because I'm like, it's not going to go anywhere. But this guy is like, he's so beautiful, and like, he's just got this wonderful spirit, and I love the way that his mind operates. And even though he's very tough on the exterior, there's that sensitive side, but he's very well versed, and the way that he speaks and the way that he carries himself, I was just like, it's catnip. And I'm a very egotistical person, and he's not afraid to put me in my place.
Wow.
I'm a bit of a brat, and he's not afraid to Tell me that. But, I don't know. We'll see. I try not to get my hopes up anymore.
But why not? Because your hopes have taken you to where you're at now.
I know. Well, in the dating world, I try not to get my hopes up. But, it is what it is. I'm 45. I'm okay with, like we talked about in the first segment, I'm very much a Sigma. So I don't need a whole lot of people around me. I don't. It's never a necessity. Do I like to have them around me? Yes, within reason, because I get drained. But that's the thing. That's the hard part about dating too, and selecting someone is, I need to know like they can be, but that's the thing is like, I need to know like they can be okay with me wanting to have my own identity, even though we're together too.
That makes perfect sense.
But that's the thing too, is like, men get so insecure, and it's like, I have ADHD, so like I've been on at least 4 to 5 side quests within 15 seconds. So if you're holding my attention, you're like halfway there. But that's the thing too, is like, I'm an all or nothing person. If I'm in it, I am in it. Mm-hmm. But I don't believe in leading people on. Like, like there's people who will sit there and just date to have someone. I think that is so cruel. And I'll let people know, like, I usually when I turn somebody down, it's depending on how they approach me. If they're going to be vulgar or disrespectful, I match energy. I'm going to level and embarrass you. But if you're kind and you reach out, I'm going to be very kind to you, but I'm also going to be very firm. Now, if I tell you once and you don't get the message and I have to tell you twice, I'm not going to extend you the same courtesy that I did before, because that's on you.
Man, you sound rough.
I am a little bit. Yeah. I am my father's daughter. Wow. I am very much my father's daughter. I am very much. But I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. I wouldn't.
Before we wrap up, we're going to close out with a tribute to your mentor,
Kevin Hearthstone. Yeah.
And he allowed what would have been gatekeepers to not allow you the second chance. You took a chance by reaching out. He opened the door. He's no longer with us.
No.
What's your life like for you? What's the end game now? And what has he brought to you to strengthen you?
He opened the door for me for so much, to let me know that there was good people out there. He was one of the few people to actually sit down and take the time to get to know how my brain operates with the ADHD. He gave me a chance. He didn't have to. But the fact that he sat there and let me finish said so much about his character and about who he was, because he knew it was tough. And so any little accomplishment or every little milestone, I throw it up to him. And I hope that he's watching. And I hope that he sees what's happening with Mucky Mondays. They're incorporating a writing class now before. So they're really trying to foster a growth in a community to honor him. So I hope that he's watching that from the other side. I hope that he's watching it. Yeah, but every accomplishment, or every time I do something dumb on stage, I'm like, I know you saw that. Like, because I do think about him quite frequently, because it was all about him saying, and I remember specifically what he said. He's like, since we do whatever we want to do here, we're going to have Beth come back up on stage. And he just did this little, or sometimes I'll scroll about the pictures that we took together and stuff like that. He had this brilliant smile.
How important is it for, because a lot of us don't realize that if we do a self-inventory of our life's journey, there's always those individuals that have helped pave the way. How important was that for you? Just think if that didn't even happen. If
it didn't even happen, my comedy career would have ended by one show. Or it would have been much more difficult because I kept trying to ask for years, hey, how do I get started in comedy? Nobody would tell me, but they'd be like, oh, I'm a comic, but they wouldn't tell me.
Don't you think that's kind of effed up?
It is a little bit. It is.
How do you get to be there? I don't know. That's a joke in itself.
It is. Oh, I have so many. I've been actually on this time off. I've been writing a lot of new material about girl code.
What's girl code?
Like girl code, like, I know you're not wearing that, or, why are you dating? Like just certain. I've met some of my very best friends in comedy who are women. There's Maya Smith. She's the 2-time roast champion who's worked with Kevin King. There's Chelsea Snedden, who's out of North. There's Crystal Evans. Whitney White. Whitney White is really taking off, too.
And all you guys are part of the girls' code?
Yeah, we're just a part of our little girl group. And it's funny because Whitney and I like to banter back and forth because she went on vacation and she saw the Wicked exhibit, and hers was the Black Wicked of Witch outfit, and mine was Glenda, and she goes, yep, this is how our dynamic is, because she's like, I dress very princessy and she's very God. So it's just like a total contrast, but I wouldn't change her for. That's what I love about the women of comedy, even the men of comedy, like even the men, like barring all the like bull crap like that I brought up. I love the diversity of comedy. I love it because there's so many different walks of life. You've got KJ Weaver, AJ the Sign, the comedian. You've got so many wonderful comics who just bring all of that.
You need to be a walking advertising boy. Everybody.
I do, and what?
Like
even the comics are like, you remember that I said that on my set, but my thing is that should be what comedy is. Like, I want to remember you. Like, there's Bob East. He does caricatures. He literally draws characters. There's Cherry Shepard. He's been one of my mentors too. And his very loving nature. And he's like, no, keep going, keep doing this, keep being you. Don't apologize for who you are. So there's a lot of wonderful people in comedy. And, like if you get time, January 22nd, go to that roast battle.
Well, I definitely would do that. That's actually a day after my birthday. So,
if you want to go, I will get you that ticket.
Yeah.
That will be my gift.
How can the viewers reach out to you and follow you on social media?
I'm at Elizabeth Urquhart 80. It's very basic.
How do you spell that last name?
Urquhart. And then I'm my Facebook. I have it under my maiden name for my high school friends who want to get a hold of me, but that's under Elizabeth Reynolds. And then TikTok is Eliz Reynolds 87. So.
Well, thank you so much for taking time to come on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow her, subscribe, click. Sometime all it takes is one click of a button to change the life of somebody's life as well as your own. This has been another, and I do mean another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show.